Let's get into it, huh?
So I suppose I should probably, I think I was the one who suggested,
Hejira.
yeah, Joni Mitchell's Hejira. I think I'm saying that right.
I'm not sure either. Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably, if this gets posted, to get some comments about it's Hejira or
Yeah.
Hejira. But
And um, I think I had multiple reasons at why I chose this. Again, to kind of set the stage of what you and I are kind of doing here, which is diving into to eclectic albums, I guess. I mean, it's really any open to anything, but
I think anything, yeah.
I think we've been good at choosing things that kind of stretch us out a little bit.
Yep.
Um, and Joni Mitchell is somebody who, um, obviously, hard not to be very aware of, given her pretty illustrious career. And I really was only kind of familiar with like Big Yellow Taxi and kind of more hits.
hmm
And I think I told you that on another YouTube channel that you turned me on to. Rick Beato did a "What Makes This Song Great" on Amelia,
Yes.
and I really enjoyed hearing that song and his sort of passion for it, and knowing that this was an album that was a must listen before that. It was a great reminder of this is an album I'd like to get into, and so this was a perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose that. It was I wanted to familiarize myself more with Joni Mitchell's work. This seemed like as good an entree to any album as far as I'm concerned because I don't really know her catalog that well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess that's my setup.
Same here. Yeah. I knew her. I have a couple hits on my rotation of songs I'd listened to. Big Yellow Taxi or Help Me.
Yeah,
Um, Certainly knew her as a kind of a giant of the time, singer songwriters,
yeah,
60s and 70s. But didn't I've never heard of the album Hejira. I had seen the Rick Beato video briefly. I think I watched a little bit of it, and then I didn't follow ever. I've since rewatched it since we've done this review, but yeah, not familiar at all, but just a little bit familiar enough to make it interesting to delve into it, right? Because if it, rather than just someone totally unknown, would be
yeah.
harder. I like having the context of I know who she is, and um, so you come in with a little background. I think it makes it more interesting to dig into it. But so yeah, similar background. I'll let you go first with your thoughts.
But I like just to sort of echo one of your thoughts there. I like how you put that. She's this giant singer
Mm-hmm.
songwriter. And um, I grew up listening to a lot of James Taylor,
Yeah,
and in fact, when I really was learning how to play the guitar when I was a kid, the songbooks we had around the house were James Taylor songbooks.
mm.
And so, listening to this, I wished I'd had those songbooks because I really, well, I think first off, I really enjoyed this album. I think at first it was a little bit harder for me to get into. Um, it grabbed me kind of right from the beginning. Um, I I thought Coyote was fun and strange to start with, the opening track.
Yeah,
Um, but I was a little bit like, what is this? What a weird way to open an album.
That's what I thought too. This is, yeah, this is funny, quirky. Like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And so I almost was like, okay, let's get through this so I can get back into Amelia, because I really grew to appreciate Amelia,
mm-hmm.
both musically and lyrically. And I found myself in between listening, like humming or thinking about Coyote.
Yeah. Try to dismiss it, but it got in there, huh?
It got in there. It was a
Yeah.
total earworm. And
Mm-hmm.
so I began to sort of embrace it. Like, okay, I kind of like you said, it's a quirky way to start the album. What is this? But kind of enjoyed it. And then, I appreciate the rhythm of things. I appreciate the guitar. Like I said, I would have loved to have learned these songs when I was a kid. Not to knock James Taylor, but these were a lot of fun for me to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
They're really different in a way. Like at first, I thought, oh, this just sounds like mid-70s singer songwriter until I got more into it. And yeah, it was then Furry Sings the Blues was next.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. Again, at first, not necessarily like, again, what is this? Like Furry Sings the Blues, but
Yeah.
it ended up,
Strange title.
yeah, becoming this interesting window into this. I don't know if it was a real guy's life or not. But yeah, that's how the album started for me.
Yeah. I was surprised at how, when I first listened to it, I wasn't, I expected, I guess, like to be more singer songwriter, maybe acoustic guitar. I didn't have any expectations, but it was very, very jazzy
Yeah.
and, a lot of, like, I guess, reverb or whatever, sounded like jazzy and mixed with kind of country western Sheryl Crow kind of feel. Obviously, the travel theme, um, and so that to me it was kind of hard for me to. For some reason, the whole album has a very melancholy feel to me.
Yeah.
It
Very,
was it kind of just a kind of a sad album. Like I don't know if it's a nostalgic feel or something lost or something. The drifting of maybe being on the road. I don't know what it is, but it was not. It's not a peppy album. I had to be in the right headspace to get through it because it just something about it was so emotional.
I
Um,
agree. Um, yeah, I think that's really well said, actually. That there's a melancholy feel to it, and being in the right mood.
yeah, it was just I don't know something was sad about it, but very good songs and yeah. The and I was also I guess impressed with her lyrics. I know she's a great lyricist, like we mentioned. She's a king of the industry, but the vulnerability of her lyrics and some of them were funny and just they would take you in twists and turns you weren't expecting her to say that. Like the Coyote song was
Yeah.
quirky, and you listen to what she's talking about. Some meeting up with some guy on the road or something, right? Some trucker or something.
Yeah.
Um, and she talks about how I can't remember the exact lyrics, but it's basically hooking up with people, and she like not sure she wanted to be involved, but she's kind of letting herself go, and kind of the uncomfortability of being in those situations.
Yeah.
They're pretty. For me, it was unexpected lyrics, uh, pretty brave lyrics, I guess, or vulnerable lyrics. So, yeah, I appreciated that. So, that's my thought on just starting the album and the overall feel of it. But I agree with you on the first two. I can't remember what comes next. I'm going to look at my. Oh yeah, it was right. Amelia, which was we talked about, um, which I guess is I found out it's about Amelia Earhart, right? It's a reference to her.
Yeah.
And so this, I mean, the whole album is about the, I guess, about her travels, being on the on the road album, right? The people
Yeah.
she's meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess she wrote it driving from Maine to Los Angeles.
right. Okay. I also I think I read that the album cover picture was taken in Lake Mendota in Madison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like in the middle of winter. It's like a white kind of a
Oh, that's
so,
wild.
yeah,
That's really wild. I mean, you've got to, if you're going cross country from Maine to Los Angeles, you've got to kind of go, north on purpose to get to Madison.
right.
It's not a straight route.
Yeah, it's
So,
out of the way. Yeah,
so that's interesting. I wonder if the part of it was touring.
probably right. Touring plus Madison has always been a big counter culture stop, college
Yeah.
town, so it makes sense that she'd end up there at some point.
Yeah.
But it's well, obviously, if someone ends up watching this, we're from Wisconsin, so that's why we're that's why we find it so interesting. But
Yeah. Yeah. It was, that's neat, actually.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So then Furry sings the blues, which like that, you kind of talked about the jazzy nature of this album.
mm-hmm.
I felt like, you know, um, uh, that's really where it took the biggest jazz turn for me.
Mm,
Um, even though it sings the blues, there were some blues elements, but it was kind of a blues jazz
right.
song for me. And then A Strange Boy is after that.
Yeah, Strange Boy. Again, another really interesting one, at least lyrically for me. I thought the first time I heard it, I was listening. I'm like, what is she talking about? It's strange. Is this some like some kid or somebody with a disability she's talking about? I didn't understand what she was talking about. Um, but I think it's just like again like another fling with somebody that's a free spirit. I think right, kind of
Yeah,
does his own thing,
yeah, I think so.
and she's kind of admiring what his lifestyle is. Like
Yeah,
he's just skateboarding around or something, and just kind of I think kind of with a lot of these characters, like kind of all in the same time, kind of jealous or admiring of something, but also um, very at peace with where she's at with her career, personality, and lifestyle. So
yeah. Um, then after that, the title track, which I really liked Hejira,
mm-hmm.
um, musically and lyrically, but again, that's it's quite a song. I mean, I think it's runs 6 minutes
Mm,
plus, and pretty evocative song. Um, again, kind of melancholy, like you said,
yeah,
emotional, and her poetry comes through quite a bit. But in all of her songs, at least from what I've heard, and this one I really just enjoyed. I just enjoyed the tale kind of being told and the music that was accompanying it, and
mm-hmm.
um, it's she even has a lyric that says there's comfort in melancholy,
Mm,
um, and
yeah. That's a good one, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Then Song for Sharon, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember the. I'm trying to remember how it goes. I don't remember offhand, but
I wonder how much in trouble we'll get if can you hear this?
oh yeah. Hmm. Again, haunting.
Right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Really haunting. I
Hmm.
mean, all of the songs had an emotional bent to them. Even Coyote, which was quirky.
Definitely. Yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, what was Song for Sharon about? Do you know?
um, I it's funny, just again, if anybody does end up watching this, um, our goal is to try to immerse ourselves into these albums in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah,
Um, and this one was hard to really. I mean, it probably could take me a year to get really deep into this. Uh,
it's hard to go through 9 songs. You think it'd be easy, but it's hard to really be mindful and really get into every one of them. Some songs
yeah,
just pull you in more than others. Yeah,
yeah, and I think that there's a depth again, like I said before, where um, listening number one versus number 20. Um, I'm walking away with something new, but oftentimes I'm more sucked into the music because it's making me feel something, and
yes,
the lyrics
agree.
often for me come later.
Yeah, sometimes it's yeah, sometimes they do. I usually just listen to it in the background, and then the song pulls me in. But sometimes I'll catch the lyrics and I'll just listen to them. Um,
I mean, skipping up to Blue Motel Room, I mean, that one had a bit of an earworm for me.
yeah, that was my other favorite. I was going to just
Yeah.
mention that. Yeah,
Um, Again, another beautiful song, but also really relatable. Um,
it was a song about a motel room in Savannah, Georgia, I think, right?
yeah.
It was like the palm trees and yeah, I'm looking at the lyrics right now.
Well,
Yeah, she's
the imagery is so vivid. She really takes you along with her.
yeah, but what's weird is that she mentions Savannah, Georgia, and she mentions palm trees, which is usually I would think of bright sunny weather, but it's contradicted with the title Blue Motel Room, which seems really depressing.
Yeah.
Picturing it's I don't know if she mentions rain, but I'm picturing it like it's raining outside or it's dark and gray day and it's blue, the blue feelings. Oh yeah, she says in Savannah it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you still love me when I call you up and I get back into town? So she's feeling some alienation on the road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this was quirky too. I remember this line. She kept saying, "Will you tell those girls you've got German measles?
Yeah.
Tell them you've got the germs."
I didn't quite understand that.
It's just weird, right? It's just quirky.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But they're not expected. I think she's saying, you know, tell, she's hoping that her lover back wherever is gonna just keep these girls away from him, and like she's like just kind of desperate, hoping him, telling him like tell him you got something wrong or something. I don't know
Yeah.
to keep him away, but it's like a desperate, pathetic attempt. I don't know. That was my first thought.
Yeah. I thought similarly, like can you make an excuse to see me kind of
Yeah.
thing?
I
Uh,
hope you're thinking of me because I'm thinking of you. I mean, that's just, someone who's just kind of a little bit on the edge and hoping.
yeah. Yeah. Really, really wild um, lyric, right?
I
I
like,
mean, and again, I enjoyed it. I kept coming back to that song in part because of the
hmm
German measles.
right. Yeah. And the way she
Uh,
says it, it's just, yeah, it makes you kind of laugh. Like, what?
yeah.
This is a
Uh,
good line too. Um, it's, will you still love me when I get back into town? It's funny how these old feelings hang around. You think they're gone. No, no, they just go underground.
yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I came back to that one a lot too. That was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think, yeah, then Refuge of the Roads. Um, which again, also lyrically really interesting. Um,
Playing it here.
yeah, really beautiful.
hmm They're all beautiful.
Yeah,
I met a friend of spirit. He drank and womanized, and I sat before a centipede. Any thoughts about that one specifically?
um, I mean, I enjoyed, again, just as you're playing that, um, the 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 guitar and the melody, um, how she just the way that guitar kind of the chords change and snap back in a way that I don't know, just creates this emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with these, to your point, very raw and vulnerable, highly personal lyrics that I'm sure there's plenty of information out there and what it all means.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously we're going for our reactions and response and our feelings. Um, and overall, I I'll be listening to this again. I'm happy to have listened to it for the first time in my life. It makes me really curious about a lot more of her work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's um, especially Big Yellow Taxi being such a beautiful, fun song about a pretty heavy topic in a way, an environmentalist song. These didn't have some of that beboppy, peppy, I think was a great word that you used, feeling. It was emotional and almost like touring. I sort of looked at these collection of songs. There was 9 songs. It was almost like you were in an art gallery or in a museum and you were looking at a painting, and each song was a painting to me.
Mm-hmm.
You were just sort of slowly weaving in and out of a different a different response or emotional
Yeah.
connection to each one as I passed it by again and again, and they were all connected.
That's a great description. Yeah. They're all connected. There's a little bit of theme running through it, but
Yeah,
you're just enjoying each painting.
yeah, yeah. And again,
These.
I think you said it about the deeply personal nature. She lets you into her life in pretty universal ways, but um, it's the vulnerability is there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, this is a it's an album where you it's great if you're in the what was the line you said? Melancholy is comforting. Is that what you said that she
Yeah,
uses? Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a great album if you're feeling sad or melancholy, and you know, you're I don't know, some kind of you're going through a breakup or you're missing somebody. You just want to curl up on the couch and just listen to something to get in that space. Um, because I think it would feel good to be there with somebody, right? Someone who's been there. It can it evokes the feelings you're feeling.
yeah.
But
That.
it's
Oh,
not
sorry.
it's not one you just I would just go to all the time. To me, it's like it's it's so has this place and time and so evocative of emotion that would be kind of more specific. Um, but I love the album. I mean, it's really good. The musicianship was really good too. I thought good
Yeah,
playing and the production seemed really good. And like I first started playing, I was like, whoa, this seems so like in your face and like really clear and deep bass, and the guitar is beautiful. And just the echoes and the I don't know if it was like bottleneck guitars or whatever being used, but
I was struck by the bass as well,
hmm
and so I had to look up who played the bass.
yeah.
Do you know who it was?
Was it Leland Sklar again or what?
Oh, it's a great guess, actually. Great guess, but no, it was Jaco Pastorius.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard the name. I don't know all his work, but
yeah, just sort of a virtuoso. Worked with Pat Metheny and more in that.
he's on there too, isn't he? Pat Metheny. I think that's what Rick Beato said. Or am I mixing something up?
Might be. Yeah, I can't say that I confirm that, but it wouldn't surprise me, because there's some real depth, again, to use that word, of not to overuse that word, but lyrically very deep, and then melodically really deep. And again, to your point, it's we're going into fall here,
hmm
and this could be a really good fall album, as you kind of go a little bit more inward and a little bit darker.
Right, right.
Matches that.
Yeah,
But
definitely a
there's, yeah,
fun.
there's a few things that have a little bit of spring in them, but not a lot.
They do, yeah, a little bit within the realm of this
Yeah.
melancholy backdrop or alienation or loneliness or something. Definitely a theme running through it. But
So what were your favorite songs then?
Coyote and Blue Motel Room
Yeah.
and Amelia. But yeah, it's hard. It's kind of hard to separate them. I found that they're all very similar sounding songs. Like it definitely wasn't like changing styles and changing instruments a lot between the songs. So definitely had a consistent feel to it. Because some of these I'd have to go listen to it again, like you played the song for Sharon, and I'm like, oh yeah, that one. Um, yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't like it was a clear cut for me. It wasn't like a clear cut favorite. Like this heads and shoulders above the rest. They were all pretty good. It was all very listenable. I thought. You
Yeah, I agree. Coyote, Amelia, Blue Motel Room. I'd personally add Hejira in there. I
know?
really like that one. But I don't think there was necessarily a bad song on the
No,
album. There's nothing I really wanted to pass over, like I often do in other albums, where I'm
right.
like,
No,
this is a big
no.
miss.
Yeah, no clunkers. No.
No,
Yeah, it was good.
yeah, loved it. Really, really good.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
that's Ajira. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I hope people enjoy it if they haven't heard it, and I hope they go listen to it.
Yeah, definitely should be in your collection, right?
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to it in a while, pull it out. I
Absolutely. Yeah.
bet you that sounds great on vinyl.
Oh, I
with
bet.
a good stereo system,
Yep.
like that probably sounds amazing on vinyl.
Mhm. It should be played on vinyl. I think just
Yeah,
the tiniest bit of crackle in there, but
yeah,
the deep bass and the guitar. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Great,
good
great album.
call. Hey, thanks for watching all the way through. If there are other albums or songs you'd like to see us discuss, please let us know in the comments below and we'll take a look at it. Again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.